Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching or listening to this, and welcome to Link Up Leaders, your direct link to leaders in supply chain and e-commerce. My name is Lisa Kinski. I'm your producer and co-host, and joined as always by Francois Jeffrey. Francois, good morning, dear. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, doing very good. How was your New Year's? What are your goals and resolutions? This is the first show of the year, man. I also feel weird. Again, it always feels super weird when we haven't actually talked today. And this is like,
we chatted a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. First of all, we did a very small thing with 6 people, just at someone's house. We canceled. We're gonna go to this little lounge that we've gone to a few times for New Year's, and then we were like, with everything going on, and that we just didn't feel comfortable doing it. Plus, we saved a ton of money just like staying home, and we got top shelf liquor, and we had TikTok games going, and it was a great time overall. How about you?
I stayed at home with Cooper and did absolutely nothing, kind of for the same reasons. I was gonna go see some friends and just hang out at their place. Well, it was up in the air. We were either gonna go out or go to this other friend's house or something, but then it was like, people might have COVID. I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna clean my place. I smudged my apartment the next morning. Just kind of, stayed where I'm at, because I'm never at my own place. So I actually stayed a weekend
to relax
in Duluth. It was really nice.
The weekend before, or 2 weekends before, I went to a Grizz concert. It was a weekend long concert, and 4 people in the 10-person house or 12-person house that we were in all tested positive right after that. So we were like, there's no point in going out into mass crowds and doing that. We have next year. I mean, it's New Year's is not going away. It's every year.
Exactly. It is every year. That is true. Well, let's go ahead and bring on our guest today. I need more coffee, man. I am not clicked in yet. I don't know what's going on.
I got the big mug today from one of the Christmas gifts.
Oh,
Mandalorian and
Baby
Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Gru.
That's
not Gru.
Baby Yoda. That's not Gru. It's Baby Yoda. Gru is from.
I thought he had a
the
name.
Movie with
I don't know. The Guardian. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it's a raccoon. I always call it a squirrel. I don't know. I'm not really into those kinds
Gru's
of
a tree. What are you talking about?
Oh, wait, it's Groot. It's Groot. Gru is from Despicable Me. That's it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, completely off the rails 3 minutes in. Let's bring on our guest today. Today we are joined by Liz Downing from Takeometrics, and we're going to just kind of talk all about the new year, predictions for e-commerce space, telling some knock-knock jokes. So good morning, Liz.
Good morning. You guys are cracking me up. I'm just sitting here hoping my stomach doesn't growl audibly because I forgot to eat this morning. So
it's totally cool if it does.
I'm sure it's happened before.
I'm surprised.
Lisa, particularly.
I was about to say, I'm surprised you have not heard. I'm the one who is constantly eating. I have to wake up and eat. I come to work, have a snack, and then I have lunch, and then I have a snack, and then I have dinner, and then I go to the gym and then usually eat again.
I work from home. You'd think that I would keep snacks in my office, but I kept snacks in my office, and that didn't work out well for me. So, but then going to the kitchen just seems so far away.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have that distance recognition when I worked from home, and I was just always back and forth when I worked from home full time, back and forth in the kitchen, just giant bowls of cereal. I would keep charcuterie board supplies in my fridge. I was like, this is bad. This is not good.
I just finished the charcuterie board from New Year's. I just celebrated New Year's with my mom, but we had meats and cheeses, and I brought them home, and I've been I'll have a party all by myself.
Doing that. That's the best.
A little mid-afternoon wine sometimes. Who knows what's going on there?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, during unemployed quarantine, the acceptable drinking time did get pushed earlier in the day. I will say that.
It's 4. That's close enough.
4.
It's
well, and then it's 3. You can have wine with lunch. Noon's cool. It's thank God.
This little Bloody Mary with breakfast. That's no big deal.
Sure.
Just take the edge off.
Hence why I'm doing sober January. I don't know about anybody else.
Better person than me.
Me too. Better person than me.
It's just kind of a chance to, like, I guess, reset everything. I don't know. It helps me get back on track with, like, the rest of my goals. It helps save money for sure. And then it's easier for me to get back into the gym when I'm not drinking. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I go.
No, yeah, I don't know.
I exercise more because I'm like, that's
really
so many useless calories that I punish myself for those useless empty calories. But I have a problem because I have a friend that bought me a wine fridge.
Oh,
and I have this.
I would love.
Like, I've been wanting to get one,
and it holds 2 cases of wine. So I kind of feel like I need to keep it full all the time because why have it taking up space in my dining room if it's not full?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
We'll need one of those for the office too. Yeah.
Yes, that's what we'll spend our budget on. We will get the neon sign and the wine cooler.
The best wine cooler possible. We'll look it up.
You can get one with taps.
I'll send you this one because it's got nice wood shelves and it's like fancy. I think she got it from Wayfair, but
we'll have to connect on it after.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Well, Liz, thank you for joining us today, dear. Usually we have weather chat. Now it's drinks. I like this change of pace. Obviously everybody knows you, but would you mind giving us a little bit of your background, dear?
I don't mind at all. I'm so happy to be here and I'm honored to be your first guest of 2022. I'm Liz Downing. As you said, I am the marketing manager, seller partnerships and events at Takeometrics. And Takeometrics is a marketplace optimization platform. We specialize in advertising. So we help optimize your advertising and run your advertising on Amazon, Walmart, and eBay. And Takeometrics has been in this space for a long time. We were something else before, but I think every single ad tech company probably was something before they were ad tech. Our CEO, Alistair McLean-Foreman, was one of the first third-party Amazon sellers. So he's always thinking like how to make things easier for sellers. So I've been with Takeometrics since August 2020. So I was a COVID hire. I knew Jason McGee, who everybody knows as well.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
And I used to joke when he was at World First and I was at Ecom Engine because I started out at Ecom Engine in the e-commerce space. I used to joke that Jason and I would try to out-personality each other at conferences, but we got to be really good friends. And we were doing a virtual happy hour during COVID, and he was like, you know, I want you to meet Alistair because you've never met Alistair before. And then Alistair and I talked, and I ended up here at Takeometrics. Still love Ecom Engine. Keep in touch with those guys all the time. They're awesome. I recommend Feedback 5 all the time. I recommend Reach.Pro all the time. But it's been a really exciting journey here. I've never worked for a company that moved this fast. Like I think there were 114 employees when I joined in August 2020, and now there are over 200.
That is quick. Wow.
It's bananas. We've got offices all over the world now. It's so exciting.
Well, it does seem like do you guys go by Take at all?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, you know, we make really stupid puns on it too. I had
take a break, eat a steak.
I had such a geek out moment. Like I sent your podcast where you talked about that, and because I thought of that. That was my tagline.
That is Liz's.
It was amazing.
And I was like, I sent it to everybody on the marketing team. I sent it to like some of my friends in the service team and in the sales team. I sent it to Jason. I was like, they talked about my tagline. I fangirled out. It was crazy. But that was part of the Ecom Cooperative, which I'm happy to talk about at length because I love that organization. But we were the premier sponsor for the Miami Sellers Dinner, and where I met you, Lisa.
Yes.
Which was super cool. But they said, take a break, eat a steak. And I was like, can we change that to take a break?
Absolutely brilliant.
And they were like, of course we can. And I didn't run it by our head of brand at all. I had to like ask for forgiveness. He wasn't mad at me. He was like, it was better than most people do it. Cause you know, we have like, so we go by Take. Sorry.
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, I was just going to say, Take always seems to be 2 steps ahead of the game. Like when I was researching before we talked to Jason and we were looking up, hey, what brands in the space of Amazon are working with Walmart already? And you guys already had like a full webinar with someone from Walmart talking about, hey, how's this transition going? What are the steps that you need to properly go through to do it? How to apply? It was mind blowing because this was like 2 years back, maybe something, and no one was talking about this. And now you guys are obviously directly integrated with them and working very closely with the Walmart team. Can you talk a little bit about how that sort of came to be, and I guess why you guys got in so early?
That is so all McGee. I mean, he was like, "Hey, Walmart, let's talk," and nobody says no to Jason. But he developed that relationship with Walmart. It made a lot of sense for us to offer a solution on that platform. But also there's this beautiful relationship between Takeometrics and Walmart in that, like, we want people to sell on Walmart, and Walmart is all about that too. And they're a great partner. I love working with Walmart. But it's just been really interesting to see how that's evolved too, because like we have all these Slack channels, and as new brands come in, so many of them like are already selling on Walmart, or they have just launched on Walmart, or they might be selling on Walmart and not on Amazon. So that was one of my predictions I was going to talk about, is that people are seeking out other channels, and they are like going multi-channel. That's like a big thing that's happening right now with brands, and especially since Amazon is the difficult channel. It's unavoidable, and I think if you're a brand, you should be selling on Amazon. But Walmart has a whole lot of opportunity to offer all sorts of brands, and they're lovely to work with. Like, even for most of the time, I'm sure that there are some brand owners that are watching right now saying, "I'm calling you out on that, Liz." But I've talked to so many brands that have said this experience has been so great, and this is how it's been different from Amazon. I feel like Walmart's sort of like paying attention and listening to the pain points that people have expressed about Amazon, the third-party platform on Amazon Seller Central. And they've said, okay, well, like, let's not do that. Which is good that they're listening. I'm interested to see. I think Walmart's going to get a lot bigger in the e-commerce space.
Well, and hopefully they maintain that mentality, though, of wanting to fix the sellers' pain points on the other platforms, and not getting, once they start getting more sellers and more success with it, maybe not getting too big for their britches and being like, "Oh, well, you're here anyway. We're just going to do the same thing." Like, because you always hate to see that happen, right?
Oh, totally. Every indication I have working with that team is that they're here to help. They're here to grow. They're here to learn. I think we're going to see Walmart at a lot more e-commerce related conferences. I think we're going to be hearing from them more as they have evolved into like a really formidable third-party marketplace. I think that they're developing a lot of really cool marketing assets to help educate the community about what to expect from your performance on Walmart, how other brands have performed on Walmart, and offering tips on how to make the most of your experience there. And I think that their content is really great, that they themselves are creating. And it's fun to co-produce content with it. We've done a couple case studies with them. And it's fun to co-produce content with them too, because we take our insights from advertising and they take other information, and it just makes for a really pretty case study.
Oh, I bet it does.
I love to hear that they plan to attend events, because you don't really see Amazon booths anywhere at these e-commerce events. And that's because everyone's going to flock to them regardless. But the fact that they're sort of coming at this ground level and seeing eye to eye with the sellers is something that you don't typically see, other than service providers like Taka and tons of other just, I guess you could call them, just service providers for Amazon and Amazon sellers.
I can't say for sure that they'll do a booth. They might. I don't know. But
can you imagine the team they would have to come with if they hosted a booth, though? They'd have to roll in like easily 20 people.
Bouncers.
Yes, there would be a line. There'd be a ticket system. Call
zappers just to keep the crowd in. Yeah. But I think I'm hoping that we'll see people from Walmart speaking at conferences, that we'll see people walking around, having meetings, that kind of stuff. And, we don't really see that with Amazon so much. I think we might, because of certain things that have changed in the industry. I don't want to talk out of turn, but Amazon's hiring talent out of the industry that I think is going to change the way Amazon interacts with our industry a little more. So I think that's exciting.
That is for sure. And on the topic of conferences, I want to give a quick call out real quick because you hold a spot on a pretty important board, do you not? With a pretty
it's not a board. It's an advisory council.
My bad.
And actually, I've for the last 2 years, I've been on the Prosper Show Advisory Council, which has been an enormous honor. Everybody probably knows the history of Prosper Show, but it started by James Thompson. First year was in Salt Lake City, and I think it was 2016. And
I didn't realize it was that young of a show.
Yeah. Huh, okay. And then it moved to Vegas, of course, because it was kind of like
why not
hanging out with ASD a little bit. And then Emerald Expo purchased the conference, and James stayed on as an advisor for a while, but then they had to get themselves an advisory council. So I sit with a lot of really great people in the industry. It is a 2-year term though, so I don't know if I'm going to do a 3rd year or not, but I'll definitely be working in both a Takeometrics and advisory council capacity at this coming 2022 Prosper. And had the pleasure of helping Brian Anderson, who's the conference producer, work on the agenda and think about speakers and think about keynotes. And it's just been so much fun. And I've learned so much from my other council members. You can go to prospershow.com and then go to About, and there's an advisory council page that we're all on if you want to see who else is on. But Carlos Alvarez,
we see your lovely face.
Yeah, that headshot that I took in the New Orleans airport at like 5:00 in the morning, the day after that Amazon Boost conference that Amazon did at Mardi Gras World, where there was no air conditioning.
Oh wow, I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah, it was great because Mardi Gras World's cool. That's where they hold all of the floats for Mardi Gras, you know. But the air conditioning busted. So there were these big fans and there were these big like tubes that were blowing out air, and everybody kind of congregated in front of those. Everybody was sweating, and it was kind of like a huge bonding experience because everybody's miserable. Yeah. You don't want to miss out on what Amazon has to say. I mean, that's when I learned about the inventory performance index. That's when we heard about the first whisperings of voice of the customer. I mean, like a ton of information was given out by Amazon at that conference. But and I went in a seller capacity at the time, but it was hot. It was really hot in there.
And what are some of the biggest benefits? Because I've spoken to a few sellers that have used our platform, asked them just if they were going to any of the events, and they didn't see the value, or they didn't quite understand how much value they can take away from it. I guess, why do a lot of sellers go to these events?
Well, you go to an Amazon event to hear about stuff that Amazon's not going to tell you any other way. And, that's going to take a while to roll out in Seller Central. And to just get to talk to people who work at Amazon and have direct influence on your actual experience as a third-party seller or a vendor. The industry conference is like Prosper Show is the big show. Prosper Show is the legacy conference. It's the biggest one. It gets the most attendees. It has the most booths. It has the most expert speakers. And Brian, at his very heart and core, is an educator. So he's totally committed to really great content. So to me, I mean, Prosper is a wonderful networking opportunity. Now that aggregators are on this space, there are a lot of really good parties. But the 4 tracks that happen during the show that have people speaking and seller panels where they're sharing their experiences on a particular topic, it's really valuable, and it's a shame if you miss it, honestly, because it's all packed into 2 days. There's a 3rd day that's a workshop day. They used to do workshop day first and then conference, but this year it's conference day, then workshop day. And the workshops are like long and intensive, and that's super valuable too. That costs a little bit extra, but like for the price of your ticket, the amount of information you get, plus the networking that you're able to do, plus the conversations you can have with the people who have booths and the free stuff you can get from their booths, it really pays for itself in terms of the experience, what you learn, the relationships you form. And I think that's why people do it. And there are people that go to Prosper every year. They just don't miss it. There was that one year that we had to do it virtually because it was 2020 and it was like COVID. But and this year it's at the Mandalay Bay. It was at the Westgate for 3 years, and the Westgate has a great sports book, but wasn't everybody's favorite. And the space wasn't very big, wasn't quite big enough. So Mandalay Bay obviously is a sprawling resort and has plenty of room for growth. So, and it's at the very, very top of the strip. So it's the closest to the airport. And it's gold.
Nice.
Conveniently located. You heard what she said. It's a shame to miss it, Francois.
It's a shame to miss it. You guys totally have to go. You don't have to have a booth if you don't want, although don't tell. I guess this is live. So you can have a booth. It doesn't cost that much. No, but I mean, just for the experience, I mean, and for content, I mean, we have Cameron Yoder, who is like the master of awesome content.
Was like everywhere you turned, that man was making content. He would like say hello to like 3 people and then he'd be like, there's something going on. Like, I've got to capture this. He was awesome. And I finally found that video from, was it Prosper a couple years ago?
It was Prosper last year.
Okay, I finally found that video the other day and it was hilarious. It was very well done.
Cameron just is so gifted. And so we did this video. I'm going to send you guys a link to it. He did this video. We had an opportunity as the premium sponsor, the platinum sponsor last year, to do like a 2-minute video that would be shown during the opening remarks. So everybody in the big room, and Cameron and his brother and sister-in-law put that thing together the night before, and he sent it to me, texted it to me at like 2:00 in the morning. And I opened it up and I watched it and I cried like a baby because it was beautiful and the tone was perfect. And it was all about bringing people together. And then I texted it to Brian Anderson and I was like, I dare you not to cry. And he was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is awesome.
Oh man.
And then, I mean, he did all these interviews in the booth with people, experts in the industry. And then he thought of that, how do you say this word? Because he had on the Takeometrics t-shirt, and, industry people, I think Bo Crable said tacometrics, which was everybody's
a couple people
favorite.
said taco, which was hilarious.
And I think Abe Tamali was like the only person that got it right, like 100% right. We love Abe, but yeah, I mean, like just the boundless energy that guy has is amazing. I'm doing the New York Hustle podcast at 4:30 today, and I asked
Cam it's really fun.
Yeah, well, David said to tell you guys hi.
Oh, yay. Hi, David. Love those guys, man.
I sent him a WhatsApp this morning saying, hey, can I bring Cameron on? Yeah, I'm going to need some
your cameo.
I'm going to need some backup by then because I'm going to be tired because I have a very important podcast at 11:30 and then I have a very important podcast at 4:30 and then meetings in between. So,
be sure to eat in between. You said
I will.
Yeah, today.
Okay. I'm thinking Grubhub. I'm thinking enormous baked potato.
Ooh,
yes.
That sounds good.
That's my biggest prediction for 2022 today is that there's a potato in my future.
Giant baked potato.
Well, I wanted to touch on one thing for Prosper because it's one thing that I have definitely read a lot of the benefits for. But what goes on in the workshops?
The workshops are like sit down and learn, actionable, like nitty gritty, and answer all your questions. So like, at a big session that's in a room or like you guys know on a podcast or on a webinar where you're doing a Q&A and you've got somebody that asks a very specific question about their very specific brand.
Yeah.
Like I sell superconductors or I am X kind of brand in X category and my ACOS is this. And if a bus leaves from Milwaukee going 65 miles an hour, I get questions like, I mean, not quite like that, but I call them word problem questions where somebody will send like if this, then what? And then what do you think about this? And if your answer is this, then this, and how about this, and you can't really do that at the Prosper sessions. You can do it when you corner the speaker afterwards. But the workshops are all about that kind of stuff where you can like very specifically, how do I solve this problem? And it's a much, much deeper dive because it's longer. So you have like a 50 minute to an hour long with Q&A during Prosper proper, but you've got, I think it's a 2.5, 3 hour workshop on workshop day where you actually get one-on-one time with your presenters. So Chris McCabe and Lee McHugh are doing a session. Ritu Java from PPC Ninja, who I spoke with last year, and she's just brilliant. and so nice. And let's just look and see who the other, I think the agenda is online.
Yeah, because I thought it was just the speakers basically have a separate hour of something that's more top secret, maybe something that's more, hey, I don't want to expose this to the entire public, but this is something nice that you would, knowing that it's very actionable. I think that itself would pay for itself.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Totally.
I mean, if you have like one problem that can cost you, let's say, $5,000, or you could save $5,000 a year or offset some sort of cost, that itself would pay to go and figure out from these experts at the workshops. Okay. That makes sense.
And it's a little extra to go to the workshop day, but I think it's totally worth it. And like, I think I'm going to stay for it and go to Ritus, because I can always learn more about advertising. It's so funny because like people talk about like competitors in the industry, and while Takeometrics is software, we also have managed services. So we will use our software to manage your advertising. So, but we're not an agency. So like, we don't do listing optimization. We don't do product photography. We don't do, A+ content, or, the stuff that a full service, actually we work with a lot of full service agencies that use our software to manage advertising for their clients. And I just did a whole like series of webinars with some of our agency partners, and they were some of the most engaged webinars I've had. In terms, like I just did one with Volatant Consulting, who's this great husband-wife team out of Oregon, and it was on Amazon attribution and the brand referral bonus. And we had 37 live attendees, and it was like the week of Christmas or the week after Christmas.
Oh, wow.
And I had so many questions, I couldn't get to them all during the content. Is it a kitty? Or is it a dog?
Her name's Luna.
Right.
Hi, Luna. I mean, so that was another prediction actually for 2022, is that brands and sellers and brand owners are going to still be engaging in free content. They're still going to, so while there is I'll pay to go to this conference so I can learn more and be more successful, there's also, I keep thinking I'm going to see webinar fatigue. I keep thinking I'm going to see low podcast attendance. I keep thinking I'm going to see decreased engagements on the posts I make about the content I do. And I'm not seeing any of that. I'm seeing people that are hungry for content. They're hungry for tips. They're hungry for actionable stuff that they can do right now, because there's so much going on. We've got this enormous supply chain issue that who knows when that's going to end? Who knows when that's going to get better? I mean, it's not going to be this year. And we've got people having to pivot. We've got the price of advertising going up, and we've got the aggregators in this space now, which has changed kind of the whole flavor of the industry a little bit. I think it's exciting, but it also kind of scares me a little bit, because I'm like, don't eat all the brands, don't copy them all up. We want entrepreneurship, yay. But that's really, I mean, I don't you think that's really like changed things to have the aggregators in the space?
I think it's forced a lot of companies to self-reflect and almost start to mature a little bit. And mature might be the wrong word, but it's where, it's, even if you didn't see it as a side hustle, I think you're learning more from the aggregators of them treating this like a corporation and using your business as growing to that level and selling this for, 5-6 times whatever you were making. It's just, I think it's brought a whole new mindset to this. And
definitely.
Go ahead.
I did a webinar with John from Thrasio, John Hefter from Thrasio. And I mean, he's great and very smart guy, but it was sort of he basically said, this is not Star Search. We're not combing through Amazon listings looking for our next unicorn. There's a very specific formula to how we evaluate a brand. And we really don't deviate from that, Right. I mean, like, of course there's a purple squirrel every now and then, and we're not going to like turn a blind eye to that. But, we're not here to discover you. We're here for you to come and say, okay, here's what I got, and for it to fit our criteria. And we had people like putting in the comments and putting in the questions, I have this type of brand and
they wanted it right
money
then.
Per month. Will you buy my brand? And I'm like, don't ask John to buy your brand right now, please.
Yeah, absolutely not. Good
follow
gravy.
the process. We've got a slide about that, how to do it. But yeah, it's been, I think it's been a real wake up call, like you said.
Well, I think also, so when we were in Silicon Valley, when we were headquartered in Silicon Valley, a lot of the conversations that I'm seeing today were just frequent, even bar conversation that people were having in Silicon Valley. There's so many startups, and they treat it like startups. They understand what VCs and angel investors and incubators and all these different types of support systems for startups and what they do, how they can help you. And I think now a lot of brands that were native to Amazon are starting to have those same conversations of seeing like, hey, how can I treat this like a true startup and grow it to where I can sell it, have an exit plan. We were talking to Joe Valley, and he was talking about the Exitpreneur book that he wrote. Amazing book also. And it's just like
Playbook.
Exitpreneur's Playbook. Sorry. And it's just, I think it's also just very exciting to have those new conversations, new questions coming in, right? How can I manage my supply chain more effectively? How can I diversify my supply chain? How can I look into new countries? It's no longer just, hey, can I buy this product from Alibaba, list it on Amazon, and make a buck? Mm-hmm. Which is what I feel like the conversation was just 3-4 years ago.
Oh, totally. I got like fully immersed in this space in 2016, but started dabbling in e-commerce in 2014. And it was a completely different game back then. I actually met eCom Engine in 2014 when I was a freelance writer. I was a freelance writer for a really long time. And they sent me this ebook to edit about the post-purchase emails you should send to your Amazon customers. And that's when I learned, I was that day old when I learned that people could sell on Amazon. I was like, wait a minute. So I got connected with a friend of a friend that was selling on Amazon and learned about like setting up listings and how to get shipments in. They were doing RA and OA, and I worked with a lot of resellers when I was with eCom Engine, because Feedback 5, like everybody wanted feedback, and Restock Pro is a really good tool for resellers too. And there's still a really robust reseller community. It's just not the same as it used to be. It used to be the Wild West, where you just like go to Rite Aid or Target and scan things on the end cap and like put a box full of like a bunch of one-off different stuff and like send it in and sell it and make a margin on it.
Right.
And it's not like that anymore.
Yeah. And I think it's also been evolving service providers like Takeometrics. I mean, for example, the fact that you guys got into Walmart so quickly and formed that relationship with them, I think opens up all these new opportunities for these businesses to grow. What sort of trend have you seen with Amazon sellers going into new retail space, or I guess other marketplaces like Walmart, from 2020 to now, and even into 2022? We can talk about that prediction.
Well, so I've seen brands that didn't think they could get onto another marketplace easily get onto another marketplace. And I've seen brands be reluctant because of inventory issues, right? So like,
okay,
look, Amazon's already complicated enough, and I've got this IPI metric that I've got to deal with and all that kind of stuff. And I just don't have the capacity to fulfill to another channel, which is why there are companies like Deliverr, right?
Is there assumption that all the other platforms also have like an IPI and all the hoops to jump through?
No, not necessarily. It's just like I don't have the bandwidth to deal with that. Like I barely have the bandwidth to do merchant fulfilled on Amazon. So I got to focus on that because that's my core moneymaker, or I want to go to an Amazon, like another Amazon marketplace. Like I see a lot of people that are looking at not necessarily like hitting the go button, but looking at international Amazon marketplaces. We get a lot of questions from brands that are selling on .com. They're like, okay, Canada's next.
Yeah.
Or which one should be next based on like what my product is. And that's something that I don't see. That was something that I was really expecting to see in 2021, which were more localization services that would tell you like which marketplace your product should be on. The only person I know that does it informally, not formally, is Yana from YLT Translation. Yeah. I'll ask her every now and then, like, I like this brand a lot, and this lady's really nice, and could you just ask your team, because she's got people in lots of different countries,
right?
And she'll be like, oh, yes, because she's so sweet, and she just is so helpful and so just such a great attitute.
I know, she's awesome.
It's contagious, her effervescence.
She's very bubbly.
She also sent me, she knows that I want to retire and have a goat farm and make artisanal goat products like soaps and lotions and stuff. And she sent me this whole box of like goat milk soap and lotion and body wash.
That's so thoughtful.
It was so sweet of her. And I sent her a picture and I was like, I love you so much. But I expect to see more people getting into that as brands really do want to go into many different Amazon marketplaces. There's got to be a service that says, okay, yes for Poland, no for Germany, yes for, there's got to be somebody that does that. If not, like let's just go do that.
We'll whip it up right after this podcast. Yeah. We'll make a whole business plan and everything.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now, do you suggest, and I think it's different for every company, do you suggest that brands try to expand internationally instead of, for example, getting onto Walmart?
I think it really, really depends on your category. It depends on like what your product is, and I think everybody should just go ahead and try for Walmart,
and that's a pretty simple application.
Yeah, it's a simple application.
And it seems like writing your descriptions and everything is easier too. I remember Norm talked about Walmart a lot. We weren't able to catch his whole discussion, but when he had like how did he phrase it? Like, Walmart today is Amazon 2015. Start selling. Like, just go do it.
Yeah.
Like,
there's absolutely no reason to not.
I
mean, and it's not hard. And there are plenty of resources now, right, that help you figure it out, that help you figure out your fulfillment. I mean, there are 3PLs all over the place. I know a lot of really good ones. There's Zentail that helps you like sort out your listing. You don't even have to write your listing. You write one listing and then it translates it into all the different marketplaces. I mean, not international, like different languages, but Walmart, Target, Home Depot, whatever. And there are all these other retail marketplaces that are possible too. And I think it just depends on what you sell. But when I talk to a brand and I say, and I know that they're not selling on Walmart, I say, you should absolutely just get the process started.
Yeah, I think part of what, shout out to Ryan Kramer once again.
They sent the nicest holiday gift. I swear. I posted about it on LinkedIn because they spoiled me so rotten.
Did I see that? I saw it.
There's 2 mugs and a charging pad and a cooler bag and a hot chocolate bomb and popcorn and a power bank. And no, it's not power bank. It's a speaker, like a waterproof wireless speaker. And this thing to protect like your credit cards from people scamming.
Oh, like the RFID.
Yeah. I opened that box and I was like, holy crap, this is awesome.
That is amazing.
Sorry, I got distracted by Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
No, I was just gonna, I know another part that Norm mentioned when he was giving the Walmart presentation at the Amazon Powwow was when you compare Amazon to Walmart, Amazon, you're a little fish in a very big pond, and anyone can list anything. They could take your listing and relist it or find a factory that make the same products. But on Walmart, you can be the same size fish in a very small pond. So you're significantly larger, actually, even if it has such a smaller audience. How do you see Walmart, or do you see any other marketplaces opening up in 2022? Or are you guys having those conversations?
Yeah, so we just started supporting eBay's new ad product because we had people asking for it, because all of a sudden, I don't know if eBay made a brand play or if brands were just like, I miss eBay, but like brands are going back to eBay, and it's surprising to me. Chet, who's
to me too,
our VP of Innovation and New Channel Marketplaces, our New Channel Expansion, he was like, yeah, eBay's next. And I was like, why? And he's like, because we have a lot of brands asking for it, like big brands asking for it. And I was like, and they have a new ad product, and they were like, yeah, come on. So, and we're looking to add other marketplaces too. But what I'm seeing mainly is Walmart, some eBay, and I'm seeing people doubling down on their own e-commerce website. So like whether it's Shopify or whether it's just like an e-commerce website that's their legacy site. I had somebody on a webinar when we were talking about the brand referral bonus, and they're like, we're not going to drive traffic to Amazon ever. We're not going to like use our marketing and use our website. We're a big brand and we care about brand loyalty, and we're not going to do that. And of course, Justin and Teresa were like, there's a happy medium that you can do. Yeah. But I do see websites getting redesigned. I see, I have brands asking me, from your freelance writing days, do you know anybody that does SEO really well? Do you do SEO? Do you want to write for me? I'm like, no, that's conflict of interest. And I don't want to do SEO. Like, we've got a lead gen guy and we've got an SEO person, and I know how to write to it, but I don't want to come up with a strategy. But there's a great big renewed interest in your own direct-to-consumer website.
Mm-hmm. And is
do you
Walmart...
hear that, web developers?
Yeah. The Fiverr artist going crazy right now.
Oh, yeah.
Is Walmart at the same caliber with PPC as Amazon? Do they hold the same advertising platform?
It's different. And they don't have like quite as many ad products.
Okay.
But it's a really robust platform. And
how do you mean ad products?
Well, so with Amazon advertising, you've got sponsored ads, right? You've got sponsored brand ads, you've got sponsored brand video, you've got DSP, you've got, this mix mash of like different ad products. And that's actually one of the things that Jason Boyce said when we did the Seller Velocity Conference with Chris up at our office in Boston in September. He said diversification of ads, more ad types, and more effective bidding strategies are going to be a thing in 2022 on Amazon in particular. And Amazon's also doubled down and sort of offered things other than advertising that also help you promote your brand, so there are the social options like Amazon Posts, Amazon Lives. I just noticed that Amy Weiss is now like doing Amazon Live. Yeah. Super exciting because like who would be better at that than Amy?
Right? I think she's either live with Norm right now or will be later talking about how to go viral on Amazon Live. And I'm like, I'm 100% rewatching that.
I'm so glad that she's doing that. But you did mention Norm, and I know that Norm and Tim are really trying to provide as many resources as possible to the private label nation about Walmart. They're into Walmart. I know Tim talks to Walmart a lot, and they are they're looking to provide a lot of resources about the actual logistics of selling on Walmart. We can obviously help you get started, and we can say, yes, you should do it, and here's how you advertise on it. But so I wouldn't say that Walmart has fewer, it's just their ad types are different. So there's sponsored products, so everybody's got that, but they've got search brand amplifier, and then they've got an offsite display advertising. And so it's just a little, so just like you would do your listing on Amazon and it would be one way, but you do your listing on Walmart's way, you do your advertising on Amazon's way, you do advertising on Walmart, the
Walmart's way.
And we have actually different teams at Takeometrics that handle, we've got a Walmart team and we've got an Amazon team. And then we've got people that are hybrid that can do both, but it's a different strategy for Walmart than it is for Amazon.
Sure.
And so would they be able to manage both of those on Take? I guess, can you talk a little bit about the platform?
Yes.
I know it's AI powered and all that good stuff, but how does that work?
So Flywheel itself pretty much just lets you manage your Amazon advertising. Flywheel 2.0, which we have with a lot of our existing users, and we're going to be rolling out in a big way in 2022. And that was like my closer, which is like, also, I predict the best advertising tool in the world, 2022, Flywheel 2.0. Tell your friends. So Flywheel 2.0 will let you manage your different, but like both Walmart and Amazon, and also shows you different insights about each one. There's marketplace intelligence that we have now that tells you like what your competitors are doing and all that kind of stuff, so that you make better decisions about your advertising. So if you're a self-serve person who's just using the tool yourself and managing your advertising yourself, there's going to be a lot of information that we're going to give you about making those decisions about your bids and making your decisions about setting goals and all that kind of stuff. And we're trying to put out a lot of really awesome content that teaches you how to do that, because we want to manage our ads, but we want to provide a solution for everybody. So not everybody can afford managed services, So Flywheel 2.0, once you start advertising, is a very low price point with a whole lot of firepower behind it. So what we're doing now is like, we realize, we're really good at advertising. Like, we're probably the best at advertising, but we don't talk about it a lot. So that's something that's new for 2022, is that like, oh yeah, we should probably talk about that. So Cameron's actually on the 26th of this month doing this 2-day virtual conference called AdMax. Which I cannot think about AdMax without thinking about Panda Watch from Anchorman. Have you seen Anchorman? You guys might be too young for
Panda
Anchorman.
Watch. No,
Paul Rudd
too young
turns
for
around.
Anchorman. I haven't seen that probably in like 10 years.
Paul Rudd turns around and says Panda Watch, and I think AdMax. Probably shouldn't have said that live. That was probably something that was supposed to stay in my brain and just stay unsaid. But AdMax is going to be so day 2. I can't tell you about yet, but we're going to have some special guests on day 2. But day 1 is just all Takeometrics employees talking about what their specialties are. So, because we know all the stuff, it's just that not everybody has been able to talk about it, just because the marketing department is small. And, but like, we're going to be giving you tips during AdMax that teach you how to think about your advertising, how to execute your advertising, how to optimize your advertising. And maybe that's something that software providers have neglected to do, because, if we teach you how to do it, you might do it somewhere else. But like, we really want you to be good at it. So we're good at it. We're going to teach you what we do. And we're going to continue that conversation too. So I think that most of my prediction for 2022, and I have an inside track on this for Takeometrics content, is going to be all about empowering you to be more successful on different e-commerce marketplaces.
Love it. And AdMax is virtual. It's virtual. It's when?
It's January 26th.
Okay.
It's an all-day deal. You're probably, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn ever and you're in the industry, you have seen an ad for it. So just click on that ad and sign up. It's free. I was like, we should make people pay for it. And they're like, what's wrong with you, Liz? What happened? Did you hit your head? And I'm like, probably. I'm just kidding. But I had a sneak peek at the agenda in a meeting with Cameron yesterday. And I was like, holy crap, do we want to tell people all this? But yeah, we do, as it turns out. So I'm super excited about it. He's going to do it like on site in the Boston office. And I'm like, can I come too? I just want to be a fly on the wall. But I just kind of rambled about that. But yeah, AdMax, January 26th and 27th.
Completely free, a full day event too. And this is what I love to see, when service providers are willing to give the free content out just so everyone can elevate each other. And I've said it many times on this podcast, this community is so like tight knit. You go into any group and you'll see a question, a very specific question, the word problem that you were talking about, and like 10 people are commenting all the different types of ways to solve it. I absolutely love that about this community.
It's the kindest industry I've ever been in terms of, I mean, like, people who are technically supposed to be my competitors, I love them. If somebody asks, like, who should I follow for advice about Amazon advertising, I'm like, Destiny all day long. Read every post she posts, and
she's amazing too.
And she'll do that. Like, what are the softwares that those big engaged LinkedIn posts that she does like once a year about, like, let's talk about ad software, and not all of us always end up in a very good light, but sometimes we do. Sometimes we get shouts out. There was a post on LinkedIn yesterday where a guy was like putting us up against 2 different other companies. And one of the other companies posted a personalized video as a comment saying, like, we want to learn more about here's about our company and we want to learn more about your company. And I just responded because I was, Takeometrics was tagged in it. And I was like, my advice to you, like, talk to all 3 companies.
Yeah.
Get an audit.
Doesn't cost anything.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants your business. Of course, I'm biased. I think we're the best and I think you should work with us. But, my honest advice to you is to do a demo with each company, get an audit from each company and see which one feels right for you. Because there are a lot of service providers in this space. And there's enough people to go around. There are a lot of brands selling on Amazon. There are a lot of sellers on Amazon. 60% of Amazon sales come from third-party sellers. I mean, it's bananas. It's more than half.
It blew my mind when I first started. I know I've talked about this before, but I joined the industry when I joined Noviland in July of 2020. And I was like, what do you mean Amazon doesn't own all the stuff I'm buying? I don't get it.
It's so hard to explain it to people.
Yes.
Like, people ask what I do and I'm like, stuff. I talk a lot. But when I'm very concise, I say I work for a company that provides software and service for people who sell on Amazon and Walmart and other e-commerce marketplaces. And they're like, huh? And I'm like, okay, when you go to Amazon and you go to the thing that you're going to buy and it says sold by Amazon, shipped by Amazon, ships from Amazon, then you're buying from Amazon. So you're either buying from Amazon who's selling a vendor central person's stuff, or you're buying an Amazon's own product that they make because they have their own private label.
Yeah.
If you see sold by and then a brand name and ships from Amazon or ships from, the merchant, then you're working with the third party seller. And that's the difference.
That's like, and I don't think that's ever something that consumers pay attention to. Like, they pay attention to how it's being fulfilled because I don't buy anything unless it's Prime, to be totally honest. So like, that's all I'm worried about. But
yeah, I know people that say, okay, I sort by Prime and then I sort by product reviews. And I'm like,
yep.
Because at eCommerce, I traveled all around the land talking about product reviews, and I know how corrupt certain product review sections are.
Yeah.
And Amazon's working hard to clean that up, and I think that's really good. But I think sorting by product reviews is problematic. One of the reasons that I wanted to work at Takeometrics is because Alistair and I had this amazing conversation about, wouldn't it be cool if when someone went to Amazon, instead of typing a keyword in, they typed in a brand name. And it's not like Crocs or Milton Bradley brand name. It's like Salute Sante grapeseed oil. It's, Hello Bello. It's,
love them.
Yeah, totally. Right.
So
and so I started this project and I haven't finished it yet, but I'm working with emerging brands that are awesome, but they're not huge, and they're not like advertising on TV, and you don't see them in every retail store, and they're not like household name brands. But we actually have an internal program too, where we tell each other about brands we really like, because like, we want you to know how good this brand is. And the opportunity to focus on those emerging brands was really, really exciting to me. So that's why I'm seller relationships. I mean, obviously I do industry relationships too, but not in an official capacity in terms of like, I don't set up the agreement or whatever. I just make like best friends, let's be best friends and see what happens, and let's do a webinar together. And I'm that guy. But getting to talk to these brands about their experience, about why they got started selling on Amazon, what their journey has been like, why, the why behind the brand. And these people that like developed a product, they didn't buy it on Alibaba, right? They said, I see a need in the world for this particular product, so I am going to figure out how to make it, and then I'm going to sell it on Amazon. That's what I love about this industry.
It is very cool. There's a lot of ingenuity. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
a lot of innovation, a lot of grit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, you were just very still. I thought you were frozen for a second there, Francois. I was like, well.
No, my headphones just died. So
oh, no.
I don't know if you guys can still hear me.
Oh, we can hear you. It's we're at the end of our time anyway, so I guess not an awful time.
Well, I actually had a quick last question in regards to PPC. We touched on a little bit earlier, but what are your predictions for PPC in 2022? I think this conversation of them just steadily rising and maybe the aggregators taking part in those PPC costs steadily rising within certain industries and keywords. But do you think they're going to subsidize or they're going to cap off anywhere in 2022?
That's a big question I have too, honestly. And I do think that part of the reason that prices have gone up is because there are aggregators in this space that have plenty of money. I mean, you guys have seen the funds raised by those companies. Yeah. Holy crap. So I do think that's part of it, but I also think increased competition means you need to spend more money anyway. So I think that we're going to see a real need for a really smart advertising strategy that kind of walks that thin line between spending enough money to make a difference, like in the pay to play kind of environment that Amazon is, but also not losing your head, making good decisions, understanding what you're doing well enough to make good decisions, and being able to pay attention to what's going on so that you can pivot, you can refine, you can optimize, and ultimately win. I still think there's plenty of opportunity. I still think that advertising on Amazon is crucial to your success, but I also think that there are ways to do it that won't completely break your bank or kill your margins. And I think that paying attention to new ad products that might come out, but also how certain types of ads are performing. That's why Jason said ad diversification. You can't just run the same sort of ad over and over and over again and expect that it's always going to perform for you. So you need to try different ad products and then figure out which one's working best for you. Like for a while back, DSP wasn't like showing a whole lot of ROI, but sponsored brand video was killing it, and that's much cheaper. So instead of just like throwing everything up against the wall and seeing what sticks, like actually having a good strategy, listening to free content like AdMax, following Destiny Washawn on LinkedIn, following Mina Elias on LinkedIn, listen to the conversations, learn the strategy. If you don't want to do it yourself, obviously we'll do it for you. So will lots of other people. But I don't think that I don't think Amazon will let it get out of control in terms of cost, if that's a more succinct way of saying all that other stuff I just said.
Yeah, that is a pretty succinct way.
Good rounded out prediction.
Yeah, good rounded out 2022 prediction. It won't get absolutely absurd to where you can't sell your products.
Yeah.
I mean, I will be surprised if it gets absurd. And if I'm wrong, then everybody can come show up at Prosper and kick me in the shins. It won't happen by March.
And take the workshops that we just learned are extremely valuable.
Yes, workshops. The workshops are the unsung hero of Prosper Show. I mean, like the content is awesome all the way through. Networking opportunities are fantastic. It's absolutely great to get to talk to vendors for free. You're there. So instead of like getting cold called or cold calling a company and be like, what can you do for me? You just go to all of them and figure out which one you like the best. And it's not who has the best swag, just so you know, we do, but we have the best swag. But
I didn't get nearly enough swag in Miami. I know we gotta.
No, you guys have to come to Prosper.
We'll have to come to Vegas.
You're totally missing out if you don't. I mean, just wear. You don't even have to wear your Noviland shirt if you don't want to, but just. Everybody knows you and everybody will be happy to see you, and you can do content from there. They're not going to get mad at you about that. You can bring your little microphone. Remember the little microphone? Yeah, bring the tiny microphone.
We're going to have we're going to go in with a strategy at the next show.
We'll do it.
Yeah, it'll be.
I liked the tiny microphone.
Yeah, I still have them. Don't get me wrong. I still have them in my purse. 2 were in my purse and 2 were in my desk.
That was my favorite part of that day, incidentally.
Yay.
That's
love making an impact.
We're going to have to do it again.
Yeah, totally. You guys are awesome. So this was fun. I'm going to be on New York Hustle tonight if you guys want to show up and give me a hard time.
Oh, 100%. Well, I'll show up. Maybe not give you a hard time, but definitely we'll show up to support. I will support you.
Frank and David will give me a hard enough time that nobody else has to give me a hard time. But, you know.
Hence why I will support.
Because like quick shout out to the eCom Cooperative. So Frank and David and Yoni Mazur and Lenny Ash and Jason Hannon, 5 guys, used to have dinner together, said, hey, why don't we invite some sellers, and then formed the eCom Cooperative, which is basically an organization that exists of service providers and software providers in the industry to provide free giveaways and content and all kinds of goodies to brand owners and sellers on Amazon. So, well, in other e-commerce marketplaces. So it's 100% free for sellers to join, and all of the service providers and the software providers that are members are just there to help. So it's a fantastic organization. It's the ecomcooperative.com. We'll probably talk about it more on New York Hustle tonight, but I love working with those guys. I'm on that council too.
They're amazing.
More councils. Just I'll be on all the councils.
Bring out all can.
It's fine. Hi, Luna.
Hi, Luna. Oh my gosh. She's like, what are you guys doing? Well, and real quick before we hop off, where can people find more information about you or about Teika?
I'm Liz Downing on LinkedIn. Please feel free to connect with me. Teikametrics is teikametrics.com. That's TEIKAMETRICS.com. And hopefully you guys will put that in the show notes because I said that pretty fast.
But 100% will.
Keep an eye out for AdMax. Sign up for that. Don't miss that. That's going to be so good. And if you need anything, also I'm L.Downing at teikametrics.com.
Oh, so nice of you to give your
no cell phone
email address.
No cell phone.
Oh yeah, Carlos is still the one and only to do that.
I have to. Carlos did that.
I
can't because like so many people already have my cell phone number that
you'll have to give a second line.
Yeah, and I've had the same cell phone number since I got a cell phone in like the year 2000.
Oh wow,
I do too. We'll talk about that after we sign off. Liz, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
For everybody who tuned in today, thank you so much. If you guys liked what you heard, give us a thumbs up, comment with your thoughts, share the show with your friends, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. You guys know the drill. And be sure to tune in next week when we have more conversations with leaders in supply chain and e-commerce, just like Liz Downing. So thank you, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.